and good morning to all of you. My name is Alok Sharma and you are watching Fiken Classes. Let's hit the concepts. In the previous lecture, we discussed about polygon law of vector addition. We discussed about the component form of vectors. That how do we write vectors in their component form? I, j and k cap, that is it. So there we studied, we got some perspective about the vectors, that how we can see a vector in the 3D geometry, right? Now in this particular lecture, what we are going to do is we are going to start multiplication of vector. So in multiplication of vector, there are two possibilities, that the result value that we are going to get after the multiplication of two vector, it may be either scalar quantity or a vector quantity. Now the question arises that if two vector quantities are being multiplied, how can we say that the resultant will be a scalar? So for this I am just giving you one small example here. Just tell me what is the force quantity, whether it is a scalar or a vector. Force is a vector, we all know. It does have a meaning with the direction, the relationship with the direction. What is the displacement, whether it is a scalar or a vector? Displacement is also a vector quantity, we know that. Now tell me whether work done is a scalar or a vector. So work done, we have already discussed, it's a scalar quantity. Work done does not have any kind of relationship with the direction, right? But we also know that work done is calculated by the formula of force multiplied with displacement. So now here we are multiplying force, which is a vector quantity, with displacement, again it's a vector quantity, and the resultant work done that we are getting is not a vector quantity, it's a scalar quantity. So there must be some certain rule or the formula given in mathematics by which we are going to get work done, but it will not have any kind of direction. Clear? So we will discuss about the formula and all those things. Now coming to vector quantity, let me tell you that, have you heard of torque? Yeah, definitely you have heard of torque, right? Torque is, again the formula is there. What is the formula? Force into radius vector, that will generate a torque. Some force multiplied with the radius vector, distance from a fixed point. Now this is going to generate a torque. So now in this particular thing, the torque is also a vector. We talked about the axial vector previously, right? A rotational kind of vector. So that is also a kind of vector only, right? Force multiplied with radius vector is producing torque, which is again a vector quantity. So there is a possibility that two vectors when multiplied is going to give us another vector quantity. So torque is the best example for that. Work done is the example for when we are going to get the answer as a scalar product, right? So when the final product is a scalar, we call it scalar product or dot product. When the final answer is going to be a vector, we will call it vector product or cross product. Understand? So dot product and cross product you must be understanding now. Now the thing that in this particular lecture we will be limiting our discussion up to the dot products only. So maybe in the next lecture we will move on to the vector products. So let's get started. So let us solve these questions first that I gave you in the previous lecture, and then we will move on to the next thing, that is scalar products. So here in this particular question, A and B is given. We need to find out 2A minus 3B and the mod value. Mod value means we need to find out the, tell me, yes, only the magnitude. Fine. So 2A, what will be 2A here? Tell me. 2 times of A. So only the magnitude is going to be double. That is 2I plus 2J plus 4K. Clear? And then 3B will be equals to 6I minus 3J plus 3K. Clear? So to find out 2A minus 3B, 2A minus 3B, that will be equals to, tell me, 2I minus 6I minus 4I. Then 2I minus of minus 3, that will be 5J, j. then 4 minus 3 is plus k. Clear? This is the vector, right? Now to find out the mod value of 2a minus 3b, that will be equals to, tell me, formula is a. So here it is a and b combined. So I'm just giving you the formula: a square x square plus a y square plus a z square. Do you remember this kind of formula? So here the answer is going to be minus 4 square is 16 plus 5 square is 25 plus 1. So it will be 42 under the root of 42. That will be our answer. Understood? Clear? Now moving on to the next. The next question we are moving on. Okay, the next question is on this side. Okay, so here now solving this second problem. The second problem says if two forces of 1 Newton and 2 Newton act along a line x is equals to 0 and y is equals to 0, then find out the resultant force. So 1 Newton here is acting in x is equals to 0 line. So first of all, let us draw this Cartesian coordinate here, xy coordinate here. So x is equals to 0 line. What is the x is equals to 0 line? Can you tell me? X value is 0 here. So if you move on to the right hand side or to the left hand side, if you are moving to the right hand side, x value is going to increase. Positive x value you will get. If you are moving on to the left hand side, x value is going to reduce. That means minus of x values you will get. So at this particular point, the value of x is 0. At origin, the value of x is 0. And if you change the value of y, let's suppose this one, 1 or 2 or 3, the value remains same, that is x is equals to 0, x is equals to 0 for y-axis. For y-axis, the equation should be x is equals to 0. Clear? So that means this complete y-axis line is representing x is equals to 0 line. Fine. So in this particular line, this 1 Newton force is acting. Clear? Similarly, on this x-axis, this line will be called as, this x-axis will be called as y is equals to 0 line. Similarly, as we have x is equals to 0 line for y-axis, for x-axis, the equation will be y is equals to 0 line. Clear? Now, this force of 1 Newton is acting in which direction? X is equals to 0 line, that means in this line, like this. So this is 1 Newton force. And similarly, 2 Newton is acting on y is equals to 0 line. So in this particular line, this force is 2 Newton. Now we need to find out the resultant force. Now can you find out the resultant force? Tell me. So for resultant force, just move 1 Newton at the arrowhead of 2 Newton. Bring it here, like this. So this is 1 Newton. Now the resultant will be equals to the diagonal, this one. This is the resultant value. Can you find out the resultant value now? Resultant value will be under the root of this length and this length, that is perpendicular length square, p square plus b square. Clear? Because this one is acting as hypotenuse. So under the root of 1 square plus 2 square, that will be the answer. That is under the root of 5 and the unit is Newton. That will be the answer. Understand? Now let's talk about scalar or dot product. So scalar or dot product, by the name itself, the final answer is going to be a scalar value. Clear? Now how it is defined? It is defined as the product of magnitude of one of the two vectors. That means if we have vector A and vector B, so product of magnitude of one of the vectors. So either take A or take B. Let us, I am taking A. So magnitude of vector A, initial vector. Product of magnitude of one of the two vectors, so I am taking A, and the magnitude of rectangular component of second vector. So now what is the rectangular component of second vector? What will be the rectangular component? Rectangular component of B, that we need to understand. So these two product is going to be a scalar product answer. Understand? Now see here. So see in this diagram itself, this A, this vector B in red color, vector A is in blue color. Now here, see this
vector B, what they have taken, this A cos theta is actually you will get this A cos theta by taking a projection of this particular head point on another vector. So we have taken a projection of vector A on vector B. So how to take projection? Now let's suppose if you have this screen and if you have a point here. So the projection of this point on the screen will be point. If you see from here at the top, you have to look at from the top. This is your eye. Fine. Now let me just give you a few more examples. If you have, let's suppose a pen here. If you have a pen here like this. Now if you see from the top, similarly, if you see from the top, what you will see at the screen? On the screen you will see a point again. Understand? So the projection is going to be something that is forming an image or shadow onto the screen when you are looking from the another side of the screen. Clear? Now for this particular thing, let me draw this vector A again. Vector A, this is vector B. Now we have to plot the projection of vector A on B. So for that you need to look from here. From the top you need to look. Now this point will fall perpendicular to the B vector. This point has to be perpendicular. So now from this point to this point, this distance is going to be the rectangular component of A on B. Understand? Rectangular component of A on B. If this angle is theta, so this base side can be written as A cos theta. Understand? Similarly, if you take, now here I am drawing, this is B and this is A. Now similarly, this is theta, this is B. If you want to find out the rectangular component of B, here you can see rectangular component of B on A. So that will be, you need to project a line from the head of B and it should fall on A such that this particular angle should be 90 degree. Clear? Here this is 90 degree. Similarly, this angle should be 90 degree. Now this particular length from this projected point, this total length is going to be B cos theta. Clear? So here this scalar product is going to be the magnitude of one of the vector multiplied with rectangular component of another vector. So that rectangular component is always coming out to be cos theta. The magnitude multiplied with cos theta. Magnitude multiplied with cos theta. So this will be B cos theta. Understand? So in both the way we can write the formula. So this A dot B, I'll just write the formula somewhere. You need to make a note for this. All these things are for your understanding. So I'm just rubbing it off. It's not working. Just write down the formula here. See, A dot B. This representation of dot product is A dot B, and that will be equals to either A and then rectangular component of B, that will be B cos theta, or you can write B and then rectangular component of A. So for both of these things, the answer is going to be same. Understand? And both of the answers do not have any kind of direction. So it's called as scalar product or dot product, and it only has magnitude. It only has magnitude and no direction. Understand? So either you take the rectangular component of B on A, or you take the rectangular component of A on B. In both ways, you are going to get the same result. Either it will be A B cos theta or it will be B A cos theta, but the final answer that you are going to get is going to be same. Clear? Now moving on to the next slide. Now coming to the properties of scalar product. Now see, just now we have seen that either you multiply A or dot product of, either you find out the dot product of A with B or B with A. That means A dot B or B dot A, both are going to same. Both are going to be same, right? Why? Because A B cos theta or B A cos theta, both are going to give you same answer because there is no direction involved. Only the magnitude is involved. Okay, so that means the commutative law is being followed here. That is the first property. Second property is distributive law is also followed. That means if A dot B plus C, if you have to find out, you can just have A dot B plus A dot C. The answer is going to be same. Either you do this one or you do this one, answer is going to be same. Now, when theta is equals to 90 degree, what will be the answer? For this, I am going to give you the formula, that is A dot B is equals to AB cos theta. Now, when theta is 90 degree, when theta is 90, what is cos theta? Tell me, cos theta. Cos 90 degree is, cos 0 is 1, cos 90 is 0. Hence, the answer will be, if cos 90 is 0, hence this resultant, that means A dot B will be 0. Clear? Now, when theta is 0, for theta equals to 0, cos 0 value is, what is cos 0 value? 1. That means A dot B will be equals to, tell me, A, B and cos 0 value is 1. So the answer will be A into B. Directly the magnitude you can multiply when theta is equals to 0. When theta is equals to 90 degree, the magnitude, whether you multiply or whatever you do, the answer is going to be 0. Clear? Now, for cos 180 value, do you know? Cos 180 value is minus of 1. So A dot B will be, tell me from here, AB, then cos 180 is minus 1. So the answer is going to be minus of AB. Clear? So these things are clear. Now, sixth point, A dot A. What will be the answer for A dot A? Now tell me, if vector A is like this, and then we want to find out A dot A. That means the formula, according to the formula, it is going to be A cos theta, right? As per the dot product formula. But what is cos theta here? What is theta? Theta is the angle between two vectors that we already know. Now, for A and B, the theta is the angle between A and B. Now, for A dot A, theta is going to be the angle between A and the another A. But what will be the angle between this particular vector and the other vector which is same? What is the angle between A and the other A? 0 degrees, right? So theta is 0 degrees here. So cos theta will be, tell me, cos 0 is 1. And hence A dot A is going to be, A square. Clear? So write down all these things and make a note properly. Okay. Now see here, when theta is 90 degrees, that means when theta is 90 degrees means, if I draw one line like this, the another line like this. Let's suppose this is x direction, this is y direction, and this one is z direction. Now tell me, what is the angle between x and y? 90 degree. What is the angle between x and z? Again 90 degree. What is the angle between y and z? Again 90 degree. Right? So you take any of the two sides of this x, y and z. You take any of the two, the angle is going to be 90 degrees. Clear? And for any 90 degree vectors, for any two vectors which are lying, the angle between two vectors is 90 degree. For those vectors, the dot product is going to be 0. That means x multiplied with y is going to be 0. Y multiplied with z is going to be 0. Z multiplied with x is going to be 0. Understand? So now tell me, what is the unit vector in x direction? I cap. In y direction, j cap. In z direction, it is k cap. That means you do I dot j, j dot k, or k dot I. The angle is always 90 degree. As it is 90 degree as per the law number 3 or property number 3, the answer has to be 0. Understand? Clear? And similarly, for I dot I, what is the angle between I and I? As we have already talked about A and A, the angle is going to be 0. So between I and I, the angle will be 0, J and J, angle will be 0, K and K, angle will be 0. And hence the answer is going to be, for A dot A, it was A square. But for I dot I, what is the magnitude of I cap? 1. Another I cap 1, because it is a unit vector. Now for unit vector the magnitude is always 1. So I dot I 1 multiplied with 1. Answer will be 1. Whenever same unit vector is we are doing the dot product, we are finding the dot product of same unit vector, that means I cap and I cap, the answer will be 1. Either it is j cap and j cap or k cap and k cap, answer will be 1. But for any two different unit vector, that means I with j, j with k, k with I, the answer is going to be 0. Why? Because the angle is 90 degrees. Understand? Now in rectangular form, what is rectangular form? Rectangular form means component only in x, y and z direction. Understand? So for component form, how do we write component form? A vector can be written as ax I cap. Ax is the magnitude in x direction plus ay j cap plus az k cap. Understand? This is the way of writing vector A. We have already seen in 3 dimension. For B, we can write bx I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. Clear? Now the dot product, how to find out the dot product is, I think we have talked about this thing. So for dot product of A and B, when they are written in rectangular form, what we have to do, multiply the magnitude of I with magnitude of another I. That means multiply ax with bx, and then I dot I is going to be, tell me, I dot I is going to be 1. But when you are multiplying ax with by component, think of, then I dot and j dot are going to be multiplied, that is the dot product of I and j, but the dot product of I and j is 0. So that particular component is going to become 0, and hence the final answer that we can write here is, it will be equals to ax bx, then I dot is 1 plus ay will be multiplied with by, then j dot is 1 plus az will be multiplied with bz. Understand? So the dot product answer will be, just you need to do what? You just need to multiply the magnitude of I cap with I cap plus j cap with j cap plus k cap with k cap. That will give you the dot product between A and B when they are written in the terms of rectangular form. Clear? Now talking about the application of scalar product, here we have 2 applications that we are going to discuss. That is, first one is work done. How to find out the work done using scalar product? Because work done is a scalar product of force and displacement. Now let's suppose a force F is acting and on a body and the displacement is D, or sometimes it is being represented with S also. So I'm just going to write with S. Now let's suppose we have an object like this here on a surface. On a surface we have this thing. Now if we apply a force like this, this is the force direction or force vector, and this body is moving in forward direction, and this is displacement S. Clear? Now how to find out the work done by this force onto the body when this body moves from one point to another point such that the displacement is represented with vector F. Now in this particular case, what you can do is draw vector F like this. This is vector F. Now you draw vector S, like this. This is F. I'll draw it like this F. Now how to find out the dot product? Just take the projection of this point on S. Either take projection of F on S, or you can take projection of S on S. Both are correct. Okay. Now let's suppose the angle between F and S is theta. Then the work done can be given as force and dot product of displacement. So that will be equals to, see, this length is going to be, tell me, what is this length? The projection of F on S, that will be equals to F cos theta multiplied with displacement s. So it will be f cos theta with displacement s. So directly we can write f as cos theta. So either you take the projection of f on f or f on f, both are the same thing. The answer is going to be same, and that answer is f as cos theta. Clear? So this was the one of the application, and now we are moving on to the second application to find out angle between two vectors. Now to find out angle between two vectors, let us we have two vectors. Vector A, it is given as the rectangular form of vector I am writing here, ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap, and vector B is also given, and that is bx, tell me, I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. Fine. Now as we know that a dot b is defined as, it is defined as ab cos theta. Clear? So cos theta, how can I write cos theta? Cos theta will be written as vector a dot vector b divided by magnitude of a and magnitude of b. So this is one formula that we can use to find out the angle between a and b. And another formula in rectangular format can be cos theta is equal to, what is the value of a dot b in rectangular formula? In rectangular format, the value of a dot b is ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. We have already seen. So ax bx plus ay by plus az bz divided by magnitude of a. How will you find out the magnitude of a? If a is given as ax I cap, ay j cap, az k cap, in that case the magnitude of a can be given as under the root of ax square plus ay square plus az square. Do you remember this? Ax square plus ay square plus az square. So if you don't remember this, you can just move on to the previous lectures where we have discussed. Okay. Then for magnitude of b, bx square plus by square plus bz square. Clear? So this formula again we can use to find out the angle between two vectors a and b. Clear? Now coming to problems on dot vectors. So here this question is to find out the work done, where force is given in Newton and this position vector r1 and r2 is given in meters. Now what is the formula for work done? Work done is equals to F dot displacement, force dot displacement. But here displacement is not given. Directly the displacement is not given, but the position vector r1 and r2, these are given. Now if you could recall, this displacement vector delta r is given as r2 minus r1. r2 and r1 are the position of the particle, final position minus initial position. If you do it, then you will find out delta r, then delta r is nothing but the displacement vector. Understand? So what we are going to do, we are going to find out delta r. How to find out delta r? R2 minus r1. How will you do r2 minus r1? So r2 minus r1, for that what you have to subtract the magnitude of I from I, then j from j, then k from k, and the final result will be a vector only. Okay, so r2 minus r1. So I is having, in r2 I is having the magnitude of 1 minus 2. So 1 minus 2 is, I'll just write 1 minus 2 here, 1 minus 2 I cap plus 1 minus 3 j cap plus 1 minus 1 k cap. Clear? So this will be minus I cap minus 2 j cap and 0 k cap. So this will be our final answer for displacement. Our displacement is minus I cap minus 2j cap. Clear? Now to find out the work done, how to find out the work done? Work done is equals to F, means 2I plus 3j plus 4k dot product with minus I minus 2j. Clear? So here this answer is going to be, tell me, ax bx, what was the formula? Ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. So here ax is 2 multiplied with bx is minus 1 plus ay by is 3 multiplied with minus 2, that is by, plus az is 4 multiplied with bz. Here k component is not in b part, so it will be equals to 0. Clear? So the answer is going to be minus 2 minus 6 plus 0, and that is equals to minus of, tell me, minus of 8. So work done is equals to minus 8 Newton meter. Understand? Now this is going to be the last problem of this lecture. Prove that vector A and vector B are perpendicular to each other. First of all, tell me, for A dot B, what is the formula? A dot B? A, B, cos theta, right? Now think of when theta is equals to 90 degree, what was the case? When theta is equals to 90 degree, cos theta is cos 90, and cos 90 value is 0. That means A dot B is equals to 0 when theta is 90 degree. When theta is 90 degree. Understand? So if we find that A dot B is coming out to be 0, then we can say that A and B are perpendicular to each other. That means theta is 90 degree between A and B. So what we are going to do, we are going to find out A dot B value for this rectangular component of A and B. So now for A dot B, what is the formula? For rectangular component, AX BX plus AY BY plus AZ BZ. Remember this? So what is AX value? 2 into 1 plus AY is minus 3 into BY is 1 plus AZ is 1, BZ is again 1. So this will be 2 into 1 is 2, minus 3 into 1 is minus 3, plus 1 into 1 is 1. So this 2 plus 1, 3, minus 3, that is going to be 0. So because A dot B is coming out to be 0, that means we can say AB cos theta is 0, and A and B cannot be 0. Why? Because they have magnitude. If they have magnitude, A and B cannot be 0. And hence cos theta has to be 0. As cos theta is 0, theta should be equals to 90 degree. And hence we can say that A and B are perpendicular to each other. Done? Now let us take your homework. So these are some previous year questions. 2 previous year questions I have set for your homework. So just take the screenshot. So this is question number 1. Please solve it in your home and comment your answers. This is the second problem. Okay. So students, we are done with this lecture. So almost this scalar product is completed. In the next lecture, we will talk about vector product. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please do subscribe it. Hit the bell icon so that you can get all the notifications related with the videos that I am uploading. And that's all. So just keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.